In a bold step towards promoting gender equality, the 5 Million Women Database Initiative is set to revolutionize the landscape for women's development in Nigeria. This groundbreaking program aims to harness the untapped potential of women across the country, providing them with access to resources, skills, and opportunities that can transform their lives and community. Nigeria Today will be talking about the launch of this ambitious initiative, bringing the convener to shed more light on how technology and data can drive women's empowerment, exploring the potential impact of this database on education, leadership, and what it means for Nigerian women's future. Thanks for joining us. I am Eucharia Clinton. Now, with me in the studio to talk about the 5 Million Women Database Initiative is Dr. Ejikoji. He's the President, CEO, Dr. Ejikoji Community Development Foundation. He's also the convener of the 5 Million Women Database Initiative. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much for having me, Kerry.
Also with us for this conversation is Dr. Bernard Mba, the Chief Technology Officer, 5 Million Women Database Initiative. It's a pleasure to have you in Nigeria today.
Thank you for having me.
So we'll start with you, Dr. Oji. Talk to us. What are the primary objectives of this 5 Million Women Database Initiative, and how will it contribute to women's empowerment?
Thank you very much for having us this evening. Like you correctly said, the initiative was launched today by the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives as the chairman of the launch, with other dignitaries, including the Center for Women Development, DG, and other international development partners, including the Ford Foundation, BPFN, MacArthur Foundation, and then even ARF, Station for Reproductive Health and Family Planning. And then, of course, my organization, AFP, Station for the Advancement of Family Planning, was also there. The main objective, or let me say, what was it that drove us to say this is what we should focus on? In my 3 decades of working in the women's health and women's rights environment, it became obvious to me that no matter what we do, if we do not give women information, knowledge, skills, and an ability to act for themselves, we'll be wasting our time. And then I have done, in my 3 decades of international development space, I've gone around the world. And I've always did comparative analysis. Women in America, why are they doing well? Women in Europe, why are they doing well? Then that is comparing maybe apples with oranges. Okay, let me come down to sub-Saharan Africa. Let me also, not even sub-Saharan Africa, and then compare it to Asia, Southeast Asia. And then the 2 countries I always like to compare is in terms of, okay, let's say you don't have to compare the people who have made it. Let's go with the people who are low and middle income countries. Take, for example, in India. India, about 60 years ago, was a very poor country by any imagination. Nigeria was even adjusted to be even a better country than them. And then, but India is the 3rd largest economy in the world as we speak now. So what is it that they are doing differently? In 2006, I was invited by the Norwegian government as one of some of the African leaders in reproductive health and rights space, so that they can have a conversation and develop a strategy for advancing this thing in Africa. And in the conversation, I asked the Minister of International Development, can I just have an information about the architecture of leadership in your country? At the time, the president of the country was a woman. Their legislature, 55% of the legislative people in the country were women. Now, I now looked at comparative analysis. What was their GDP or income per capita at that time? We're talking about 2006. It was $44,000. Compared to Nigeria, what was our GDP then? It was about $2,000. Now, when I looked at all of that, and then I looked at also in terms of our destiny is more agrarian, our economy, until recently is now moving up to oil and then to non-oil parts. Who are the people driving, putting food on our table in terms of agricultural outputs? 60% of peasant farming is women in Nigeria. But look at the spaces. Let's use the proxy indicator. At the national level, at the House of Representatives, as we speak now, 16 out of 306 are women. In the Senate, 4 out of 109 are women. So all the gains we made in the past but one administration, at least there was a time we almost had 30% of the leadership in there. So when I looked at all of that, I now said, what is it that is different? And I found out one fundamental difference. In those areas, women are given all the opportunities in life to be the best that they can be.
Okay, I will have to stop you here, Dr. Orji. We'll come back to some of the issues you have raised, and let's hear from Dr. Mba. Now, we are talking about database, Women Database Initiative. Now, how will this database be structured? And, you know, what kinds of data do you want to collect?
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. What we have done is, you know, to do an application that has so many other sub-applications in it, so that for any woman that is registered, at least they have access to those applications. And in registration form, we have different sections. So we have, for instance, the names. Of course, everybody there is a woman. And then we also have their where they live, you know, the state and the local government where they stay. We also have information that gives us an idea of their socio-economic category. And we also are interested in the kind of businesses that they do. So the data we collect are data that will help us in planning programs targeted at empowerment, understanding where they live, what they do, their economic potential. And we also have a section for those that are, you know, we just stick it, what business do you do? Are you interested in loans and grants? And that also helps us to segment further those that will need input in whatever it is that they do in financial assistance. And the last category, which is something that we are also introducing, is to know who is a person's living with disability, or persons
with disability.
Yes. So that's the other category, you know. So at the end of the day, we are able to look at that data. We know, okay, well, we have 60 people that are farmers that live in Amak in FCT. And so when there's a program targeted at farmers, we can reach out to them through their phone numbers and email and say, look, for instance, I'll give you an example of what happened last year. An organization was interested in, they got a grant to provide free cervical cancer screening to women. And through our database and also our channels of communication, we're able to get, you know, give this information to the women, and these women had the opportunity to access that service, and it was completely free of charge. And those, I think a few of them were actually found to have early stage of malignant cervical cancer, and it was treated there and then, you know. So, yeah, that's basically how that data is structured.
Okay, now, what do you also have an intention of going to the rural areas? Because from what I see from the screen, I see, you know, kind of sophisticated women there. What of our local women in the villages?
Yes, the database is for everybody. It's a very all-inclusive database. I thought you were going to ask me, the people in the rural areas, they have smartphones.
Of course, a lot of them do have smartphones.
I'm glad that at least you are believing that someday do some keep asking us that question. But the real thing is that As we speak, we've registered women from every state of the country right now as we speak. But obviously, the highest registration is here in Abuja. Even in terms of women groups, we've registered about 27, is it 28? 28 women, different women groups.
Now, before you go ahead, you said 5 million women. Does it just restricted to just 5 million women, or would it?
Well, we decided to put that 5 million mark as a target.
Okay.
When we get there, we'll think of something else to do, whether we want to go further or not.
Because only the women in Abuja, I'm sure it's not more than 5 million.
Let's get there first. And then, you know, the thing is that for the rural women, even if they don't have smartphones, we're introducing what we call agents and coordinators in those areas where women, due to problems with technology, might not be able to access all, first of all, being properly registered, and then being able to access all the services. So we're going to attack that on a two-pronged approach. The first approach is his own department, the tech department, is already building USSD codes where the women without smartphones can send a USSD codes, and then they will be able to download all the services that are available on the system. And then because of the communication gap, if somebody is now lettered in English, we also, because we're working with women, we're working with different types of women. Let's say we want to go and talk to women in my hometown, Ovim. We'll look for an Ovim woman who is an accountant. Let's say we're talking, because we're going to have a wide range of trainings, capacity building in terms of basic bookkeeping, financial inclusion, entrepreneurial skills training, even gender issues. How does a woman know that she's being sexually harassed in her workplace? How does she navigate all of those without getting unnecessarily messed up? So those trainings, there'll be a TOT for the trainers to give them the skills of how to train. But most importantly, we will train people in every locality to use the local languages to train women in their language.
Exactly.
So we are covering the entire country.
Okay.
I was at Radio Nigeria this morning, 7 o'clock news. The DG kindly granted me about 6 to 7 minutes of time. While I was talking, he said, you know, my computer nearly cracked. As I finished, people, more than 100 people had registered within 5 minutes. So they are from all over the country, but we are interested in inclusivity. That's one of the key, because we're using economies of scale to make sure that women can access services. The services, you that is a sophisticated lady living in town, you have the financial power. Those services you think you have a privilege to get because you have money. Through the database, we're going to make it that services are available at a lower cost, because we are going to use the economies of scale. Okay. What does the economies of scale mean for people who might say, what is this Oyibo this man is speaking? It only means if you are buying, let's say, a bottle of water, 100 naira, and then we'll say we are buying 1,000 bottles of water. Then the person might decide to give a discount, 20%, it becomes 80 naira. So if you can't afford 100 naira, but you can afford 80 naira, so you have the same benefits. That is the main strategic drive of the women database.
Thank you, Dr. Oji. We are going to take a short break now. This conversation will continue shortly.
Implementation of the ruling is also dependent on another aspect or another arm of government.
Nowhere in the world will allow, under digital economy, for banks not to be dispensing domestic currency in that economy.
What will make this one different? We want to know what they do as occupation. All of these are attributes that our questions have been designed to investigate.
In a few days to come, you see that we are all around their own crannies and everywhere in Nigeria, telling people to cooperate.
Welcome to Nigeria Today.
Welcome Welcome back. This is still Nigeria Today. And we are talking about the 5 Million Women Database Initiative. And of course, I have two gentlemen in the studio for this conversation. Now, Dr. Bernard, are there measures in place to ensure that these databases sustainable and, of course, can be scaled up in the future?
Yes. Just like I said this morning, we experienced some traffic, but we're already prepared for that, So we have a lot of redundancy in terms of what the server can carry, yes. And most importantly, we've also ensured the highest level of security. So we use encryption to save that data in the database. We have 2 layers of security. I don't really want to go into that, so I don't start giving anybody ideas. Yes, I will go into that
because we have a lot of hackers now. They want to use the opportunity to defraud people, getting the information since you're getting data from people.
Yeah. So like I said, we have 2 layers of security. 5 million women in a single database is attractive to a lot of should I say, bad players in the IT industry. So we are conscious of that. And,
you call them bad players. You are being polite and being modest. Call them what they are, frauds, fraudsters.
We are monitoring the usage, and that's why we're able to pick what happened this morning. There was a sudden surge in traffic. We've had 1 or 2 incidents which we were able to handle, so data security, data protection measures are in place, and we are always updating ourselves with the latest technologies out there to ensure that our destiny is safe, and people's data are not going to be compromised. Yes.
So, Dr. Oji, tell us what is the expected impact of this initiative on women's economic, social, and political empowerment?
Yes, the expected effect is that if you're a woman and you're interested in doing business, through the database you can get the skills and ability to do that, and then you can be linked also to partners you can work with. The database also, like I mentioned earlier, is a platform for soft skills training, and then also for making sure that women get reproductive health and rights information, which they lack now. 70% of Nigerians who actually die of diseases are completely ignorant of the preventive approaches. So this database is going to be heavy on that. Pool resources for financing of health. The database is going to make sure by the time a woman does 1 or 2 or 3 things in the database continuously for about a year, she should be able to afford insurance, not out of pocket now, based on the general discounts we'll be getting. From those discounts they can pay for, after they have money in 3 wallets. One of the wallets is cashback, where they can save up to a year. Take, for example, if I have 1,000 women we're working with and be able to save 5,000 naira in that wallet every month, it becomes 60,000 naira in a year. And there are 1,000 of them, it becomes 60 million. They can invest even in the Nigerian Stock Exchange or even in the New York Stock Exchange with that small money they have. And then the second wallet is the health wallet that I mentioned. With 50,000 naira, they can enroll in National Health Insurance Authority health insurance scheme for themselves. In a year, they can actually enroll 4 people. Then the other one is the training wallet I mentioned earlier. The first 5 trainings they will get, which we feel is transformational. The major problem we have in the country is we have toxic relationship with each other. Like I always say, this is not the country I was born and I grew up in. We are so toxic in our relationship. I want to start training our women on empathetic communications. Civility is the word. After that is, like I mentioned, the being able to do your bookkeeping, so that you can also be able to know what is the value for your money that you're using. Then the Third one is entrepreneurial skills, financial inclusion, and then, like I said, the gender-based training. That first set of trainings, the first you get, is irreducible minimum for any woman that's going to. Before you will allow you to go to any training, you must go through those 5 trainings. Okay. At the database, like you mentioned, we have a diner, My Diner, a woman who is selling food can develop a QR code of her menu. And when she sends you that QR code, you download it to have her menu. With that her menu, you can make a selection and call her, and then the food will be delivered to you, whichever way you want, or you go take it yourself. There's also an e-commerce platform, and there is also a hiring hub. You can update, like now you're a broadcaster, and you want to do some consultancy, you can go and upload your data here. This is who I am. I'm a broadcaster. This is
what I do. And then this is how much I want to be paid, depending a year, a month, a day, an hour. As you upload that in the offer services application, any woman, that means 5 million women, when we have them, will be able to see what you do, and they can have your phone number and call you. Okay. Having said that, I know I've been interested from the beginning, but I'm very, very interested in this part now. So tell us, how can one register?
Fantastic.
Okay. So WomenDB can be accessed at www.womendb.org.org. So it's WomenDB, like in D and B.
That's the database.
Yeah, so once one goes there, you see a button that says join our community. You click on it, and then you see the registration form. You fill the form. Once that is submitted, you see the dashboard is created for you, and then you have access to over 10 different applications from, okay, so we have the Dio Clinic. Dio Clinic has 2 types of clinics. So you have the AI clinic. All right, we have trained an AI to act as a medical assistant, trained on Nigerian medical data. And then we also have the telemedicine application inside the Dio Clinic, where you get to consult with real human beings, yes? And then the next one is the one he talked about, My Diner, where any woman that is a food vendor can go create an online menu, a digital menu, you know, and that saves, I mean, you can imagine yourself with someone is calling you, someone is texting you, at the end of the day, they might not even buy, taking you away from the core work of creating good tasting food. You know, so but when you just have that online digital menu, anybody that sees it can now, you know, call you because they know how much it is, they know what you sell, and are interested. We have the e-commerce. We also have our own in-house developed AI application. Now, this AI application enables anybody to create their own AI. So, for instance, you want to create an AI that is a legal advisor. You just put that, and then voila, you have your AI that is a legal advisor. We have the fashion AI for fashion designers, for tailors. And what it does is it can just put what you want, created, the AI creates that design and gives you sewing instructions on how to create that.
Okay.
Yes.
So definitely you'll have to pay for them to register, right?
No, for now it's free.
For now it's free, really.
But I can warn you, it's going to be in future.
Yeah,
people are going to pay. So anybody that wants to better register now before.
Can you give us the address again? So that's
okay. So it's www.womendb.org.org. www.womendb.org.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Bernard Mba, Chief Technology Officer, 5 Million Women Database Initiative. Thank you so much for coming and sharing this information with us. And Dr. Ejikoji, President CEO, Dr. Ejikoji Community Development Foundation, and also convener, 5 Million Women Database Initiative. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you for being part of the program. I'm your carrier, Clinton. Have a wonderful weekend.